mom has me blocked. And when I left the house in 2023, up until that point, I had raised my kids and been in their life every single day, even my stepson, who I raised from 6 months old.
And you heard mom's testimony stating that you make more than that amount.
I mean, when I stayed with mom, she was on housing.
Or affirm that the testimony you're about to give in this cause will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Mr. Branch?
I do.
Miss Odie?
I do.
You may both lower your hands, and Miss Peoples, you may proceed.
Thank you, Judge. We're here on a suit affecting the parent-child relationship, suit for modification and order confirming the support obligation. Judge, parties basically disagree on all issues. If I can start by taking testimony.
You may.
Thank you, Judge. So it's 3 children before the court: Quinarius, Samaj, and Swayze Branch. Judge, there were previous orders on the 2 oldest sons, Quinarius and Samaj, and so we're adding the daughter, Swayze. If I could offer a State's Exhibit A, the acknowledgement of paternity for her.
State's Exhibit A is admitted.
Thank you, Judge. And I'll call the mother. Can you state your full name, ma'am?
Felicia Odie.
And Ms. Odie, you don't agree with you and Mr. Branch being joint managing conservators of your 3 children, is that right?
That's correct.
Okay. Has there been any family violence between you and Mr. Branch in the past 2 years?
Not in the past 2 years, but it has in the past.
And how long ago was that?
About 3 years ago.
And what happened 3 years ago?
He physically pushed me in the parking lot.
And were the police called?
No, we didn't call the police. We went on about our day.
And how old are your 3 children?
16, 14, and 5.
And so you want to be made sole managing conservator of all the 3 children?
Yes.
Right. Has Mr. Branch had any role in parenting with you for the children?
Years ago.
How long ago? Well, how long has it been since the 2 of you all made decisions or conferred with about the children together?
It's been about maybe 5 years or so. It's been a while.
And you're asking the court that you have the exclusive right to determine the residence of the children in Dallas or any surrounding counties?
Yes.
And you're also requesting supervised visits, is that right?
Yes.
And you want those visits to be supervised by your mom every first, third, and fifth Saturday and Sunday from noon until 5?
Yes.
Right. And you want that to continue for 4 months, and then after 4 months, he can have a standard visitation schedule?
Yes.
And what concerns do you have with him getting a standard visitation schedule now?
The fact that, for one, I don't know where he lives. 2, he hasn't had any contact with the kids in a while. The last kind of contact that they had, it wasn't pleasant. It wasn't on good terms. So they really need to get reacquainted with each other. And learn. He needs to learn them for how they are now, because they're not the same as when he last was around them. On top of his living situation, last time I checked, he was living with one of his baby moms, and she has other teenage daughters. I have teenage sons, handsome teenage sons, and he knows my concern about mixed with the teenage girls and the boys. Simply because in his past he had a issue where he was got in trouble for some child stuff going on with step parent kids and stuff like that, and that's one of my fears, to have something like that happen with my sons.
Okay. And then you understand that the order today, it's also going to modify the child support and medical support going forward. You understand that?
Yes.
Right. And to your knowledge, Mr. Branch has 2 other children under 18, is that right?
Sorta.
What kind of health insurance do you have for your 3 children?
WellPoint Medicaid.
Okay. And you understand, based on the income information that we have on file for him, that was provided to us from him, The support would set his cash medical support at $127 a month and his child support at $542 a month. You understand that?
I do understand.
Right. But you don't agree with the income information we have. You believe he makes more money. Is that right?
Absolutely.
Right. And what do you believe that he does for a living?
He hauls cars and he works as a mechanic and everything else in between, but has something to do with cars.
And he did that when y'all were living together?
Yes.
Okay. And so how much money do you believe he makes a month?
I would say about 5,000 a month.
Okay. And how do you know that he makes about 5,000 a month?
We were living together 12 years plus. He has been the sole provider for me and the kids and my other son. So it's been a total of 4 kids with no other kids being involved, taking care of 2 cars that he provided for me that he took back recently. I mean, a year ago. 2 cars, insurance, house in rent, his tow trucks, his car lot with that he maintains with and all of that stuff. And that's well over that amount.
Okay. So based on him making 5,000 a month, you're asking the court to set his cash medical to $225 a month and his child support to $999 a month.
Yes, I think that's fair.
And you also understand we're taking judgments on his arrears, but he currently doesn't owe any child support arrears for your 2 sons because his child support was set to 0 because y'all were living together. You understand that?
Yes, I understand.
But you are asking for retroactive child support for your daughter.
Yes.
Right. And when did y'all stop living together?
He moved out, I would say March of 2021.
And so from that time period until today, has he provided any financial support for your daughter?
No.
And you're wanting the retroactive judgment to be based on him making the $5,000 a month?
Yes.
And so you understand that that amount, his retro judgment would be $35,999. And to pay at $230 a month. Is that what you're requesting?
Yes.
Okay. And you understand the state calculated his retro based on him making the information we had. The retro would be $7,904 to pay at $140 a month. And you disagree with that?
Yes.
You also want a non-disclosure, meaning you don't want your address and information being listed in today's court order?
That's correct.
And why is that?
Because I didn't give him my address was not supposed to be disclosed in the first place once we went our separate ways because I still don't know where he lives. He refused to tell me.
Do you have safety concerns with him knowing where you live?
Yes.
What safety concerns do you have?
Because he will come on my property where I live and take whatever off of where I live and there's nothing I can do about it. Like a thief in the night.
Pass the witness, Judge.
Excuse me, what was that, Ms. Peoples?
I'm sorry, I said I'll pass the witness.
Okay, you may call your next witness.
Mr. Branch, can you state your full name?
Quentin Bernard Branch.
Mr. Branch, you're asking the court that you and mom be made joint managing conservators of your 3 children. Is that right?
That is correct.
Okay. Have you had any involvement with mom concerning the children up until now?
No.
Okay, and why is that?
Mom has me blocked. And when I left the house in 2023, up until that point, I had raised my kids and been in their life every single day, even my stepson, who I raised from 6 months old. When I left, me and Miss Odie maintained contact. I did send child support. I do have documentation of that I have sent in. And all of a sudden, she just blocked me and wouldn't allow me to see my kids. Wouldn't allow me to talk to them or anything.
And so when was the last time you saw the children?
In 2023, January.
So you're asking the court to also give you standard visitation, which would be every first, third, and fifth weekend overnight visits?
Yes, because I have done nothing to make it to where my kids will be afraid of me or not want to be around me. including Miss Odie. There's no documentation of an assault. There was not an assault. I've never been abusive towards my kids. I've never had anything related to my kids brought up, police call, police report, or anything.
And you're self-employed, Mr. Branch?
That is correct.
And what do you do?
I transport vehicles.
And are you just paid like by the job? So you work for other people and they pay you based on just the work that you do?
Based on the cars. Like some people may call me, they have one car, they have two cars. I deliver the cars to the customer.
And then each individual person that you contract through, they pay you.
That is correct.
And are they paying you cash or through a check?
I get paid check and cash.
But you don't have like your bid. Do you have a business with a name, an LLC, or
No.
anything like that? You don't. Okay.
No.
And so you sent our office basically like your tax returns and information showing what you made doing this. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
And so that income is $2,816.16 a month for your self-employed income that you're claiming you make.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. And based on your stated income, your cash medical support would be $127 a month, and child support for the 3 children at $542 a month. And you agree with that? Is that correct?
Yes.
Right. And you heard mom's testimony stating that you make more than that amount.
I mean, when I stayed with mom, she was on housing. I didn't have to pay rent or anything like that. She was on housing, so the rent was only $230 a month. So that's why I was able to
Mr.
provide.
Branch, hold on. It's not what she asked you. She didn't ask you what bills you had. She asked you how much money you made when you were with mom. Was that the correct amount of money?
No.
Okay, so let me ask you this. You did the same work when you were with mom?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you have a car lot?
No, ma'am. I've never owned a car lot.
Okay, so all you've ever done is transport cars.
Yes, ma'am. I had a mechanic shop. Let me see. It's about 10 years ago.
Okay. Oh, got all that out the way. So
Yes, ma'am.
you transport cars.
Yes, ma'am.
About how many cars do you transport a month?
Average about 10, 20. I would say about 40.
You transport about 40 cars a month.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and how much do you get paid per car?
I'm local, so per car, I average about 75 a car.
And how much did you say you make a month?
I make about, after expenses, I make about
I ain't asked
20.
you that. How much do you make a month? I don't want to know about after expenses.
Well, I
How
don't
much
never
do you
add it
make
up,
a
but I
month?
make about 28 to 35 a month.
Okay. Miss Peoples, base his child support on $3,500 gross.
Okay, Judge. Do you want me to keep the health insurance, the 127?
No, calculate everything.
Okay.
The way it should be calculated.
So with 3,500 a month, the health insurance will be 157, and the child support would be, I'm sorry, for 3 children. So the health insurance will be 157, Judge, and the child support will be 663.
663. And is
Yes.
that giving him credit for all of his other kids?
Yes, that gives him credit for the 2 other children.
Okay, thank you, Miss Peoples. You can finish questioning him now.
And so, Mr. Branch, you understand that Miss Odie is also requesting a retroactive or back child support judgment for your daughter?
Yes.
And she states that you all separated and stopped living together in March of 2021, but you say that that's not correct.
No, that's not.
When did y'all stop living together?
We stopped living together in January of 2023.
And what do you mean by y'all stopped living together at that point?
I moved out in 2023. She stayed there until October 2023, and I continued to pay bills until she moved out.
So why? as far as mom stating that y'all stopped living together in March of 2021, you're stating that's not true.
That's not true.
So you're wanting your retroactive judgment for your daughter to start from October 2023 when you stopped paying the bills for the family?
No, I would like it to be when I stopped paying the bills and she moved out, I still sent child support payments every month. I sent that documentation in to you guys until May of 2024 is when I stopped sending child support payments.
Okay. But for as far as the time frame of when we calculate your retro, you're asking the court that it be calculated from October 2023 until now. Is that correct?
No, I'm asking for May 2024 until now.
All right,
And
we're gonna give you
hold on, Ms. Peoples. Mr. Branch. So when you
Yes,
say
ma'am.
you paid child support, you made the child support, how much did you make child support for one kid, two kids, or
no,
three
ma'am.
kids?
I sent Miss Odie at the time when I left. I was staying with my uncle. I sent Miss Odie $450 every 2 weeks.
Okay. And how long did you do that, sir?
I did that from November of 2023 until May of 2024.
Okay.
Judge, I calculated that total. So that, Mr. Branch, that was a total of $6,300 that you're stating you gave Miss Odie for that time period.
Yes.
Okay. And so that amount you're asking to be included or subtracted from whatever retro judgment the judge takes today. Is that correct? You understand that?
Correct.
Okay. But as far as the separation date, the question I'm asking is, when did you all stop living together?
I would say January of 2023.
Okay. And so, Judge, if that's the separation date, the child support judgment would be $6,534. Giving him credit for the $6,300, then it would leave a judgment of $234 to be paid at $40 a month.
Okay, now I have some questions. So we determined that at $3,500 a month, his child support was what?
The child support is $663, Judge.
Okay, $663. Okay. So Miss Odie, you heard Mr. Branch's testimony. Did he send you $450 every 2 weeks for that period of time?
He may have, but it wasn't consistent, and it was only for like 2 months, maybe. It was not until May. And when he did send it, it certainly totaled over $600. It may have been like $900.
Okay. Okay. And other than the time he pushed you in the parking lot, there had been no other family violence?
There has been family violence where he hit our son on that same day. Just other things that went on, but I didn't escalate it, because I didn't know if we was gonna stay together or not, or if it was just something, and just being pure afraid and don't want no extra attention calls to
So
where we live and the kids.
since that time, 3 years ago, have you guys had any issues?
No, because I stay away.
Okay. This is going to be my order, Miss Peoples. We're gonna add the child, Swayze. The parties will be made joint managing conservators of the children. There'll be a standard visitation schedule, government health insurance, child medical support will be $157 a month. Child support will be $663 a month. The retroactive child support will be $2,234. Court costs as billed to Mr. Branch. All start dates will be May 1st, 2025. And there will be no non-disclosure.
There's the payout on the retro.
$70 a month.
All right, Judge.
Anything further, Ms. Peoples?
Nothing from the state, Judge.
Any questions from either of you?
No, ma'am.
Okay, now that I've made my ruling, I'm not the last word on this. This is out of the 254th District Court. That is Judge Kim Brown. She might have a different opinion from mine. You have 3 days to appeal, 30 days to file a motion for new trial. Now that I've given you that information, does anyone have any questions? Okay,
ma'am.
then thank you both for appearing here today, and you're both free to go.
Thank you.
You're welcome.